Greetings! Today we're going to talk about catalysts and how they work. We have already talked about the collision theory, and by the end of this podcast, you should be able to explain what catalysts are, and you should be able to explain how they work. Remember, we've talked about the collision theory. How in a chemical reaction, when you start out with your reactants, how these molecules or atoms must collide with each other. They must have enough energy for breaking of bonds and reformation of bonds, and how they have to align in the correct orientation so that the reaction actually takes place. In the wrong orientation, even though they may collide and have sufficient energy, the reaction will not take place. So what's a catalyst? A catalyst is a substance that increases the rate of reaction without being used up. So we're going to make that reaction happen at a faster rate, and the catalyst will not be used up at all. At the end, we can extract the catalyst and it will still be there, and it has not changed in any way. Alright, so we're going to talk about these diagrams that we introduced in the previous podcast, reaction rates, and I want you to take a look at this diagram once again, and remember that the activated complex is the complex, the reactant and product unit that form just before the reactants go into products, or before the reactants turn into products. So what's the difference? When you have a catalyst, this red curve shows the reaction, the energy required of a reaction without the use of a catalyst. In other words, without the use of an enzyme. We'll discuss what an enzyme means, but for now it's a catalyst. All right. Secondly, you see the second blue curve, and the blue curve shows the pathway of this reaction with a catalyst, with an enzyme. They are both the same thing. This right here, and I'm going to go ahead and show it with a diagram, and I'm going to show you that this, from here to here, the energy required from here to here, is the activation energy with an enzyme. And this up here, this shows the activation energy without the enzyme. So much more energy is needed without the catalyst than with a catalyst. And this is exactly what happens in a chemical reaction with a catalyst. Since it requires less energy, the collisions are more effective, and you can get to the product much quicker than without catalyst. So in other words, more collisions will be successful or effective because they don't require as much energy without the enzyme. All right, so basically what's happening here is increasing the chances that collisions will be successful. Catalysts hold one or more reactants in place. So the catalyst is actually holding one of the reactants or more of the reactants in place so that the correct orientation can create a successful. Once the catalyst has done the job in holding, say this is the catalyst, and it's holding molecule in this correct orientation so that this reaction can take place, like I explained before. Now, once that catalyst has done the job, it releases the molecule and finds another molecule to hold on to. And then that can result in a successful reaction as well. All right, so to apply it to something that you know, we're going to just briefly touch on biological catalysts. Sorry, Tupac just almost jumped on the bed, and that's not allowed in my home. All right, so I'll introduce Tupac at the end of the podcast. Pay attention now. All right, so there are three types of enzymes. These are biological catalysts. In chemistry class, you will be just using catalysts, but enzymes are in your body, and they're very important to us. There are digestive enzymes, which are found along the GI tract, in other words, the gastrointestinal tract, which actually aid in the production of usable materials for our bodies, and then eventually it goes into the bloodstream. Without those enzymes, these reactions could take years, and it wouldn't support life. There's also metabolic enzymes. These are found within the cells, and these actually catalyze or speed up reactions inside of the cells. Finally, we have food enzymes, and these are found in plants and animals. So these are sources of these chemicals, and they are very good for us. There's only one minor problem with these food enzymes. They're very important to us. But when you eat something raw, you're likely to get these enzymes from these food sources. But when you cook these products, then the problem is that at high temperature in cooking, here's an example. A biological catalyst is this is an enzyme, and this is one of them. There are several enzymes, at least one very important one that is found in papayas and pineapples. But just to give you an illustration, what happens is whenever you cook these enzymes, whenever you heat them up, the action of the enzyme. So this is why we say that it's better, much better, certain foods raw, because and the enzymes that are found in certain vegetables, etc. These are destroyed at high temperatures. So therefore, anything that is pasteurized, anything that is roasted, anything that is fried or stewed, baked, the action has been destroyed. So the enzyme is destroyed in cooking, and the benefit is already gone. So I hope this gives you a better idea of what a catalyst is and what enzymes are, and it can make a difference in your life when you eat more of these fresh fruits and vegetables without cooking them. All right. Have a wonderful evening or afternoon, whichever the case might be.